पर गुनाहगारा मकुन महरूम जामीरा दरा या रसूल
One, two, yeah. Ma, space, ha, water. Sometimes it's balm, the dakini seed silver. Maha, re, earth. Ni, sa. First you open it up to your own body, right? The little icons, syllabic and extend to each other.
मुश्ताक़ आफ़ताब जमाल मोहम्मद
His perception.
मा बंदाए मोहम्मद आले मोहम्मद
True God is right. It's the feelers. The knowing feelers.
मारा चे हस्त लाफ्त गुलामी ये मुस्तफा माकम तरी गुलाम बिलाले मोहम्मद ज़मीना माए इम्तिसाल मोहम्मद ज़मीना माए इम्तिसाल मोहम्मद ज़मीना माए इम्तिसाल मोहम्मद ज़मीना माए इम्तिसाल इम्तिसाल मोहम्मद फलक फर्द राज़े कमाल मोहम्मद फलक फर्द राज़े कमाल मोहम्मद चे गोयद कसे वस्फ हाल मोहम्मद चे गोयद कसे वस्फ हाल मोहम्मद जहाँ रोशन است از जमाल मोहम्मद जहाँ रोशन است از जमाल मोहम्मद जहाँ रोशन شد از وصال
دلم زنده شد از وصال محمد دلم زنده شد از وصال محمد
ज़हे ज़िक्र हुस्न मोहब्बत बना है
ज़हे ज़िक्र हुस्न मोहब्बत बना है
और ज़हे माजराए तमन्नाए माहे
ज़हे माजराए तमन्नाए माहे
ज़हे ज़ौक़ आहे निदाए निगाहे ज़हे ज़ौक़ आहे
निगाहे निगाहे
ज़हे मिंबरो मस्जिदो खानकाहे
ज़हे मिंबरो मस्जिदो खानकाहे ज़हे मिंबरो
ज़हे
मिंबरो मस्जिदो खानकाहे ज़हे मिंबरो ज़हे मिंबरो मस्जिदो खानकाहे
ज़हे मिंबरो
मस्जिदो खानकाहे
ज़हे मिंबरो मस्जिदो खानकाहे के दरवे बुवद क़ील क़ाल मोहम्मद
के दरवे बुलंद कीलो काले मोहम्मद के दरवे बुलंद कीलो काले मोहम्मद के दरवे बुलंद कीलो काले मोहम्मद के दरवे बुलंद कीलो काले मोहम्मद
नजर की जवानी जमाले दिलारा
नजर की जवानी जमाले दिलारा
आहे नजर की जवानी जवानी नजर की जवानी जवानी नजर की जवानी जमाले दिलारा दिलारा नजर की जवानी नजर की जवानी नजर की जवानी जमाले दिलारा बहारे तसव्वुर किसी का नजारा बहारे
तसव्वुर किसी का नजारा बहारे तसव्वुर किसी का नजारा
और ये मेराज दर पर्दा वो आशिकारा ये मेरा
दर
अल्लाह
ओ आशिकारा
खुशा जज्ब बिन गरज मुस्तबारा
खुशा चश्म को मिल दरद मुस्तफारा खुशा चश्म को
अल्लाह
दरद मुस्तफारा
खुशा जज्ब
को मिल दरद मुस्तफारा खुशा चश्म को
किसी का नजारा
बहारे तसव्वुर किसी का नजारा
ये मेराज दर पर्दा वो आशिकारा
ये मेराज दर पर्दा वो आशिकारा
खुशा जज्ब को बिन गरद मुस्तबारा
खुशा चश्म को बिन गरज मुस्तफारा खुशा चश्म को बिन गरज मुस्तफारा
खुशा जज्ब को बिन गा गा ba ba ga ba ga da ni da ni ba 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 ga ba ni da ni da re re sa re re sa re re sa ga ga ba ba ga ba ga da ni ba ma ba ga ma ni da ni da ga ma ni da ni da ga ma ni da ni da ni sa 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 jazb ko
गरज मुस्तफारा खुशा चश्म को खुशा चश्म को गरज मुस्तफारा
ga ga ma re sa ni ba ma ba ga ma ni da ni sa re re sa ga ga ba ba ga ma ga da ni ba ma ba ga ma ni da ni sa ga ma ni da ni sa ga ma ni da ni sa 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 खुशा जश्न को
गरज मुस्तफारा
है खुशा दिल के दारद ख्याल
खुशा दिल के दार ख्याल मोहम्मद खुशा दिल के दार ख्याल मोहम्मद
मिली हमको आसिम वो आली मकामी
मिली हमको आसिम वो आली मकामी
के है सरनगू बादशाह सामी
के है सन्नू बादशाह निज़ामी
कहा ताजो तख्त और कहा ये गुलामी
कहा तारो कहा ये गुलामी
बसद को सफा गश्ता बेचारा जामी
मस्जिद को सफा गश्ता बेचारा जामी
गश्ता बेचारा जामी गश्ता बेचारा जामी
गश्ता बेचारा जामी गश्ता बेचारा जामी गश्ता बेचारा जामी
मस्जिद को सबा गश्ता बेचारा जामी गुलाम गुलामान आले मोहम्मद
गुलाम गुलाम आने आले मोहम्मद गुलाम गुलाम आने आले मोहम्मद गुलाम गुलाम आने आले मोहम्मद
मस्जिद को सबा गश्ता बेचारा जामी
मस्जिद को सफा गश्ता बेचारा मस्जिद को सफा बेचारा जामी
मस्जिद को सबा
गश्ता बेचारा जामी
मस्जिद को सबा गश्ता बेचारा जामी गुलाम गुलामान आले मोहम्मद
गुलाम गुलाम आने आले मोहम्मद
ये जहां रोशनात रज जमाल मोहम्मद ये जहां रोशनात रज जमाल
So maybe we can turn the recorder off now. Can you see over there? We just leave our eyes closed for a few minutes. Thanks. There we go. Great. So stay in awareness. So interesting in Monlong Jempa's things. The natural perfection he describes Rigpa. The difference between Rigpa and Ma-Rigpa, or Samsara Nirvana, is the intensity. The intensity of the light and the capacity to hold the intensity of the light. So we just sit in the dark for a few minutes. We just do this a lot at one time. I'm just going to read a little paper. You can leave your eyes closed, you don't get the glare. On the word phanos, okay? So the Greek word phanes means apparition or appearance of divinity. And the Greek word phano means to show or to manifest or display or to appear as appearing, showing, manifesting, apparition, apparitioning. So phanino means to bring to light, to bring the light, or to bring forth the light, or to bring into appearance. And phaneros means to show or display or to manifest. Okay? So phenomenology as method comes from this word of appearance, the experience of appearance, okay, as method. And the unfolding of the multidimensional appearance and the capacity to articulate to us what's appearing to us as knowledge, as knowingness. And the path of Dzogchen is also the path of awareness within appearance and appearing within awareness. This capacity to be in awareness and to experience what's happening both inside and outside. And in that lived experience of awareness and of appearance, there is the manifestation and dissolving of phenomena. Ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. The manifestation, dissolving, manifestation and dissolving of phenomena. And also the path of phenomenology, and it doesn't mean a particular type, but is the capacity to articulate what's appearing within our experience, even privately. Now the word theophany, that's where we're going to, theophany, or theophanos, means the apparition of divinity within and through appearance. Divinity manifesting through phenomena as phenomena. So theophany is the apparition of divinity, or Deus, or Theos, or Shiva, or whatever, Christos, or Dharmakaya, whatever language you like, culture. And so awareness, as you and I know, is multidimensional, as we were discussing last week again. And the wonderful, wonderful awareness may be considered a theophany, or theophanic life. We often think about this theophany in its vertical or ascendant horizon. You might call it the geometry of ascendance, of manifestation. Like there's pure awareness, unbound openness of the dark luminosity, sort of at the bottom, And then arising and manifesting out of that is the light, the cosmic light, and the cosmic elements, and then vortexing, and then the archetypical dimension of the deities and devas and dakinis. And then the elements and the deities all become flesh, become us, arising out of the void. The light is the elements configuring and creating the powers of consciousness, and then they manifest, at least in this dimension, as the earth element, the element of the flesh. Luminous flesh. That's us. But this vertical presentation is only one imagined geometry, and so the theophany is also completely horizontal. That's direct. That's in between. And so as one enters the theophanic dimension directly through what is in front of us, whatever's in front of us, or behind us, or within you, or within the other, then the relational world is theophanic. This manifestation of the great, as Meister heard the God beyond God, the great opening, the great void, the great Mahasunyata, luminous darkness, or manifesting. And then there's the energies and vortexes and the deities and archetypes. And then there's the flesh. But this is not just like deep, deep down within coming up, but it's also directly in front of us. So as one starts to experience this and feel this, one's life is in a theophanic experience. Of course, the theophanic discourse is a manifestation of love, pure love, cosmic love, personified. So one can look at going from this vast, open, compassionate, luminous creativity to it ends up as individuals. Becomes, from the big light comes little lights. Or from love, from the cosmic love comes personification. And so personification is not indifferent. It is not without vast importance. Huh? It is the creative apex. So the singularity of love, of the beloved, and whatever that means to a person, for a person it may be their books or their children or friends, the deities, their BMW, it can be all this variety of singularity, the belovedness. Is the singularity or of eachness or of suchness? The suchness. And the cosmic within the personal. The cosmic within the personal. So within all of us, the personal is a manifestation of the cosmic. You with me? Forget about psychological for a moment. The personal, awareness, subjectivity, person is a manifestation of the cosmic, which is in turn a manifestation of the unbound openness. So in theophanic love, all love is cosmic. Cosmic compassion and person in oneness. So in our poor society, eros has become simply sexuality and a kind of discharge mechanics, often electrically attuned. But within the Greeks, someone just told me, a friend of a friend, that their friend fell in love with, what's the famous movie out right now? Avatar. But it's like a game, and fell in love with one of the Avatar people on the internet. And then the person shows up and it was greatly disappointing, okay? But with the Greeks in the flesh, and the Dzogchen Mahamudra traditions, there's a point to all this, I hope, and certain Sufi traditions like Il Arabi, and Christian alchemical traditions, love is eros, and eros is love, and of course love is divinity. And of course love masters us, okay? Love masters everyone. And so love is the theophanic manifestation, and you and I are theophanic manifestations of pure love. So love, eros, is Deus, or God, and God is eros. And ubi caritas et amor Deus EBS, which is one of the famous medieval statements, wherever love and love is, there's God. But God here is not an entity, Consciousness is not an entity. Just like ultimately, you and I are temporary entities, but not actually entities. Primordial awareness that's manifesting right now, that's speaking right now, that's hearing right now, is not an entity. It becomes an entity and dissolves from entityhood over and over again. And as Dante, so it's not love that the lover falls in love with, but with the divinity made manifest by love. It's Henry Corbin. It's not love that the lover falls in love with. Oh, he's falling in love with love. But with the divinity that manifests by love, which actually is love itself. As Dante described, one of the great masters of this, especially in his book, in De Nueva Vita, the New Life, which he wrote after his first sight of Beatrice, who for him was a cosmic and personal experience, and who later died. And also the Dzogchen Shaivite, as well as Sufism of Il-Arabi, one I know, that love is both cosmic and personal. It is always cosmic. It is always cosmic and personal. And love is always theophanic. Huh? So whatever you love, there's God. That was one of Swami Muktananda's favorite statements. Whatever you love, there is God. Whatever you love, there is God. So it takes us far beyond psychology. True spirituality, at least from this point of view, and the theophanic point of view, is the anima. It's an anima experience. It is anima psyche. Huh? Awareness is anima, awareness is psyche. Awareness is gnosis, direct perception. Awareness is the feminine. Of course, the love of Yeshitogo and Padmasambhava is actually a discourse on a theophanic experience. Huh? And the oneness of the couple of Samattabhadra and Samattabhadri is indicative of the oneness of the masculine and the feminine dimension in one person. In one person. So as you and I embody awareness and embody the anima, this experience is of the masculine and feminine coming into balance, coming into oneness within our own bodies. Huh? And then we actually become a universal person. And also the theophanic experience of love between two people, huh? Or between two of anything, is theophanic. Huh? Birds, people, all of us. And so it's this constant manifestation. This is the view of the Dzogchen Mahamudra and some of the Sufis, at least Il-Arabi, and some of the Christian alchemical people, Gnostics. The practice of the inner heart essence, the Ninchik, the inner heart essence, which we work on, is the path of love. Love is direct perception. Love is gnosis. A theophanic path of non-dual oneness, luminous flesh. Space makes place for the manifestation of the anima. Space. Without space, the dimension of the anima cannot come into full manifestation. So space makes place for the manifestation of the anima. And space makes place for the anima mundi, the world itself as anima, the world itself as awareness, and the world itself as the Dakini. The Dakini, which is the anima expression of primordial awareness in her many forms, as source, Dharmakaya, as apparitional vortexual, the deities, and as the human being, and as the earth itself. And you'll see this over and over again, this description, and this is this particular culture's way of really emphasizing and bringing forth the anima dimension for direct realization, even though a lot of the society was patriarchal, as it often has been for a long, 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 long time. So the earth itself is the Dakini. Although patriarchal in institutionalization, so often, in all the different traditions, at least up to the recent past, at least it's becoming now into Saturn, which is the great democracy, and really begins to undo these patriarchal, hierarchical, and even matriarchal divisions. So the path of oneness is a function of oneness and being resolved in our own bodies, first of all. So the path of awareness is the anima, gnosis, direct perception, is feminine, direct perception. Gnosis is love itself. So love and direct perception are exactly the same phenomena. I'm not talking about liking, or hating, or attracted, but love, true love, that love is direct perception. That's why whenever true love appears, we experience direct perception. And in all relationships, sometimes true love appears, then slowly but surely it may begin to disappear unless a certain operatio and work takes place. There was an amazing group, and secret group, like a secret society, that crossed the boundaries of Sufism and the Christian medievalists, okay? And it was called the Fedeli dell'Amore, the Servants of Love. And this wonderful field, and it was a field, and it's also found in its own way in some of the Siddha masters, went through Spain, Andalusia in Spain, into Italy, and Dante was a member of this group, and also one of the great Sufi named Rubenzen Baqli, Baqli of Sirac, he died in 1209, wrote a great treatise called The Jasmine of the Fedeli dell'Amore. Masario Finco was also a member of this group, very famous Italian philosopher. Shakespeare was supposedly a member of this group. For instance, in Love Labours Lost, he writes about a defense of the Fedeli dell'Amore. The Sufi Il-Arabi in 1201 was a member of this group as he falls in love with a young person named Harmony of the Eye and Sun and Beauty, and then through her she reveals the Sophic revelations of love. And you see this over and over in the Dzogchen traditions and the Mahamudra traditions. And if you can demonasticize it a little bit, which is really useful to do, it will start to manifest itself very, very similar in many ways to the theophanic traditions. And that's why love and eros is often described. If one reads the text of Dzogchen and the Mahamudra Siddhas over and over, the vast emphasis on human love and the mysterious conjunctio is direct manifestation of non-dual oneness. So I just wanted to present that today, since we've been talking so much about the Dakini and elements and love. So we're going to hold awareness for a few moments. So as you and I know, as we enter awareness, in a praxis, we become cultivating awareness, embodying awareness, learning to experience the pervasiveness of awareness, that is not just a secret spot in our bodies, and we learn to feel the pervasiveness of it. We learn to sustain it in embodiment and a relational manner. Some of those descriptors that we spoke about last week, such as autistic states, paranoid schizoid states, and undue empathetic states, actually are dissolved. It is a very powerful, powerful way. As you bring forth awareness through resonance, then pure love, true love begins to manifest, which is very tough when we're in an autistic-like state, which we've all been in, make no mistake about it. And then the unwrapping of the autistic-like defenses, which Francois Toussaint talks about, okay? And also the famous French analyst Anjou recalls the skin ego. You start to get unbounded, and here we go. Thanks. So you can see the unbinding taking place in yourself and other people as they, with great courage and intensity, begin to hold transmission and begin to hold the expansion of the radiance, which takes place whenever people hold the field together. Is this making sense what I'm saying this morning? Say yes or no. Yes. then I can keep moving ahead here. So the capacity of the transmission of awareness, which we can do with each other. You with me? That's why Multananda used to say that all the time. You with me? That transmission is possible. A transmission beyond words and letters, not belonging to any tradition, is the very nature of human awareness, which is the Buddha. Okay? And in our lives, we will always transmit something. Make no mistake about it. When we have trouble with affective states that cannot be held, we will definitely transmit it all around the place, either consciously or unconsciously. That's what we do. But also, if we have the capacity to start bringing forth awareness out of resonance, out of connection, inside to inside, and out of connection at all three levels, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. For some people it's Nirmanakaya, where out of the resonance begins to open up. For some people, it is really the vortexual, beatific realm of the energies, of the archetypes that first clue them in and they have relationships with. You with me? And for some it's just the vast opening of the Dharmakaya, unbound. And sometimes the Dharmakaya opens for people because of sheer unbound loneliness. It opens up from within, or abyss-like states, because they can become very close. The Dharmakaya, pure awareness that is not held, is experienced as an abyss, an unhappy abyss, with lots of negative affects. The Dharmakaya, when held, becomes this vast, luminous, unbound stability of being. You guys follow that? Say yes if you do, and no if you don't. That's why when people, Winnicott used to say, emptiness or the abyss, when people bring it, is the beginning of filling up, because the closeness of the autistic state starts to open, and that is always a terrifying experience for all of us, okay? And then we open up to more paranoid schizoid states, and in these states, the self is still contained, and primarily it has a relationship primarily to fantasy, its own fantasy, its own enactments, its own little drama, its own little internalized objects, which are actually fantasies and memories. Are you with me? Fantasy and memory combined. That is why, as you practice, you want to dissolve fantasy. You want to begin to deconstruct the fantasy story. You want to cut through it. Or you want to bring it into awareness and dissolve it. This is often painful for people because we're very attached to our mind. And that's what fantasy is. It is the mind. It is useful for certain things. And as an artist, we use fantasy in his and her work because fantasy becomes situated at that moment within primordial awareness itself. Or to use Winnicott's words, transitional space. So as you can integrate fantasy into transitional space, it is no longer a dissociated function. The same thing with thinking. Your thoughts, my thoughts will become much more clearer and greater. Sensation will become more vivid and intense. But fantasy itself becomes the great imagination. You with me? And so when you have that capacity to hold it's no longer dissociated. You're no longer lost in fantasy. You're no longer because yourself is tiny, you're connected to a fantasy. You understand what I mean by that? But rather, as your self expands and you expand and it becomes full presence, luminous presence, it illuminates that mechanism and it illuminates art. And it illuminates art through expression. It's not just kept within your body. The very force, the very pulsation of awareness itself necessitates manifestation. When we're in schizoid paranoid states, we have trouble coming into the world in a thought. We can do enactments. But having impact is probable for us. Having impact is probable. Either we think we're too much, too great, too this or too that, but the issue of actually touching the objective is foreclosed. Okay? That has to be overcome as the light of awareness expands our paranoid schizoid states. When I'm describing these words, I'm not thinking about pathology. I'm thinking about natural human beings unfolding. You guys follow what I mean by that? Say yes if you do. So this is natural. And so, but as the field expands, okay, it's through its very expansion in both pervasiveness and action, one will actually act in the world. Or as the Shaivites say, knowledge is action, gnosis is action. So if you have a great imagination and you're holding that in the light of awareness, you with me? You've dissolved it as a little function that one hides in or finds entertainment in, you with me? That is dissolved. And so then it begins, and in its dissolving as simply something that's dissociative, it becomes integrated into your body, and then the actual gnosis uses imagination as an organ of perception. Say yes if you understand that. Okay. We're continuing on here. In the dark. So these dissolvings have to take place, okay? And that would never take place unless you have a practice, okay? You can have all the capacity in the world, but if you don't actually sit or stand or move where the focus is on the internalized experience at a point, you will not dissolve these structures, okay, of a growing up person. And so the schizoid dimension and the paranoia have to be dissolved, okay? Because paranoia itself will keep you in a victim posture, okay? The problem with paranoia is that you yourself are a victim forever and ever and ever and ever. You with me? And as you remain a victim, okay, you will not be able, that sheath of being a victim will distort the light and the power that's manifesting in you. In fact, you can even become more of a victim because the amount of light and energy that's coming into you. You with me? And a lot of times when that's happened to people, they become more and more demonic, if you will. And because there's so much light and power, but it takes the victim-victimizer drama really, really far. You guys understand that? That's why you don't want to be deluded that only goodies have the unfolding of primordial awareness. You with me? That is a seductive and not true thought whatsoever. The primordial unfolding of awareness actually in certain ways is beyond good and evil, virtue and vice. However, as it unfolds and then you're bringing forth the great compassion, and if that is manifesting in you as number one, then it will bring us into true love, and there won't be a distortion in it. Ma and Ma Rigpa are very, very close. They're not a function of us being bad dogs, or Ma and Ma Rigpa, illumination and stupidity, are completely close. There's light in both of them, but the vibration is not exactly the same. So that's why out of primordial awareness, there's a natural arising of both. It is a totally natural thing to be stupid. And then, if you don't think that stupidity is simply a victim thing, you with me? Then you can really utilize our very stupidity as a method to gain more and more luminosity. You guys follow this? So this is really, really clear and useful in the distinctions. Bringing forth the light through resonance and extension. And then we go into a big problem for many, many people is empathy. You with me? And much of the empathy arises initially out of empathy for their parents. Okay? A child comes into the world open, has some awareness and direct perception, and a mind and a body, and they look around and they start saying, this does not look pretty good. and they have great empathy. It starts as a compassion because they come in with yogic capacities, okay? And they may have bodhisattva experience, bodhisattva tendencies, what many, many people do. But it's not well trained or honed. And so the initial act of compassion, of love, starts turning into where one has to be crucified and carry the pain of the parents or whoever else is there. You guys follow this? So empathy becomes overdeveloped, and the person thinks in their childhood omnipotence that they can transform pain. You with me? And then they become a person who actually thinks by carrying other people's pain in their bodies, they can transform it. Now, this is a natural tendency because, in fact, we can transform a baby's pain. That's what part of mothering is about. By holding the baby, by experiencing the baby, and by transmuting the baby's experience through our own body, both pre-verbal and non-verbal, the baby learns cohesiveness. Say yes if you understand that. It's very, really useful in mirroring functions and being held in development. And that type of empathy is really, really great. However, sometimes people with that capacity carry it off too early and too soon. You with me? And also, people pass their negative affects on to others, including children. So if you were that type of person, you developed an overactive muscle of empathy, okay? And that will cause you difficulties both in your mind and body. It will cause you some problems. So that is really why, as you start to manifest awareness, as you start to feel the power of awareness arising within you, the melancholia of empathy. And empathy at the bottom is a melancholic experience. Say yes if you sense that at all. Empathy, the melancholia of empathy starts dissolving, and one begins to actually experience in a rather clear way that everyone has their own trip. Everyone has their own karma. And though you encounter karma and your karma is connected with people's karma, as you hold your own karma in appearance and in the field, you will find the tendency of being empathetic and introjecting, which is another word for the same thing, introjecting other people's unhappy affects will be dissolved for you, and you will lose your melancholic posture. Say yes if that's making sense. Mm-hmm. As though if you hold the melancholic posture, you're not, I'm not talking about sadness, okay? I'm not talking about sadness at terrible experiences at times. You with me? I am not talking about sadness. You want to know the difference between sadness and melancholia. Melancholia is where you bear for eternity people's loss and people's suffering and people's pain. You with me? And certain Christian imagery really helps foster this. You with me? And certain Tibetan things like Toglen also foster this in a certain way. Taking people's pain and passing it out through it. These are not necessary the higher practices. This okay with everybody, what I've said right now? It is making some sense? So then the fourth stage is actually we start going into a stage where we really are in the field, okay? And these stages I went through are pretty natural for all of us, okay? It's why the Kleinian developmental schema is really a very useful schema, I know, to help, because the fourth stage, some call it transcendental, but it's not really transcendental, because transcendental goes back into this dissociative frame. Okay, it's hard to get away from it. Okay, this is an earth frame, embodied earth frame, embodied consciousness frame. And so this embodied, we might call it the base, okay, the base of transparency or translucidity. And you start to feel that being your base, the base of awareness, is now the self, the fourth stage. And in that fourth stage, to use our language here, then naturally awareness really begins to open up for us, that we can actually experience it directly, to use Buddhist language, the Dharmakaya, the luminous darkness, and Meister Eckhart calls the God, beyond any forms, beyond any. And then we begin to experience the realm of apparitions, with me, and then we experience the realm of luminous appearance. And also, as we get better at this, because these dimensions are not dimensions we're visiting, they're dimensions of awareness that we are, then we actually have a capacity to be in these dimensions and actually have action in these realms. Everybody understand this? Does that last sense make sense about being in the dimension? We have only one yes here? Yes. Because you really want to get out of the picture mode, okay, that this is something you're seeing. Oh, it's a vision. Oh, I'm seeing this. Oh, it's like TV. You with me? If you think about it that way, you will not be knowing what's actually happening to you. Are you okay with this? So here we are, we'll sit. Let me just see what time it is here. Long Sufi chant. The Fedele dell'Amore, huh? Anybody want to say anything? And we'll gaze with our eyes open. Anybody want to say anything? Yeah, please. And then we'll hold the field together. Huh? You know, I think it's going to be such a hard thing to find it. We won't do it right now. And I'll just repeat it to the people.
And I don't know if you're willing to repeat this, but during this talk, I was present and not present.
Uh-huh.
And I woke up when you were speaking about melancholia.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you would repeat it.
Okay. I was
Ask somebody else.
placing melancholia, not all melancholia, but a vast amount of melancholia from an overdeveloped empathy. You with me? And when people have an overdeveloped empathy, which they came into the world with a capacity of compassion, of gnosis, and then the distortion of compassion is empathy, where you start to try and transmute through your body other people's suffering, primarily your parents, or if you have an unhappy relative or brother or sister or a whole group, you will start to try and transmute that. You will try and bear the feelings of that. Not only will you try it, but it'll be passed to you, because one of the great capacities we have is to project our affects or transfer our affects into other people. We do it all the time. You with me? And so you become a little vase or a vase for that. And also you get some status for that too. You with me? And which has its own nicety. But the dilemma is, since it can never be all transmuted, you walk around with a melancholia. You with me? You walk around with a sorrow, a sadness, a loss, an absence that may not even be your own. But I'm not talking about just content, but process. Is that making sense what I'm saying? So it's that I'm going through all the stages of a Kleinian point of view, which I actually have a lot of preference for, because it normalizes a lot of strange stuff that human beings go through. You with me? And And we went through autistic phase somewhat. We went through the paranoid schizoid phase somewhat. And I'll do this again because I don't want to overdo it too much. I'm coming around and around, giving different bits of pieces of experience and information. And then we went to the empathetic phase. And people that are very empathetic or melancholic, typically, not just in the here and now, but forever, if you wish. As you start holding awareness, as it starts to grow in you, and you feel that presence arising in you, you with me? You will feel your melancholic apparatus being dissolved. You just don't feel like you're carrying the sins of the world, the pain of the world in your body. You with me? You feel like you're more and more light and energy. You have action and capacity. You have a capacity, rather than trying to take people's pain, you extend light to people or energy to people. And if they use it, great. And if they don't, that is how it goes. Do you follow what I mean by that? You begin to differentiate your karma from other people's karma. You become unenmeshed. A lot of empathy is functions of enmeshed family systems. You guys got this? So, and then it's highly praised in certain things, and but actually, empathy is a form of the master-slave relationship at the bottom. And it's not the great compassion. It is not pure love. It's not the freedom of love. And it's not the freedom of being really feeling the power of the light and the gratitude for the good fortune you have of being able to bring yourself into realization. You with me? It also means that it is not good to be a follower. Okay, I'm going to end up soon. And being a follower simply means you follow other people in their sadness for eternity. You with me? They have absolutely no interest in following you with me, and your state of happiness, okay? In fact, happiness is an insult to many people. I'm serious about this. And so if you're happy, it's an insult, okay? And so you then give that up. You can't fake it. You start to give it up for the sake of the other. You with me? Because misery does love company. And so you give that up, and then you can have some form of enmeshment with another person or people, and that you consider to be oneness, and it's really not at all. So at a certain level, that has to be overcome. And then we start feeling compassion, which is you feel the great compassion, the cosmic compassion, which is awesome, and you also feel it for people. You feel the oneness in people, and you actually feel what they can become. You with me? But it is not an internalization of their stuff. Everybody okay with this? So this is, I'm bringing, but this is why to really practice this and not deceive yourself, in a dissociative format. Oh, I've got it, and now I'm just living it. You with me? And in fact, you're just having a good day. So the practice, and that's why all these great yogis, they practice to keep bringing forth this power and dissolving some of these structures of our person. So let's hold awareness now. That okay with you all? Anybody want to say anything else? Okay. The part about imagination is really important, okay? Fantasy is not imagination. Fantasy, you with me? A lot of storytelling is just fantasy. Enactments, because it's no place else. And it's a substitute for reality. You with me? And that keeps you from having the power that you might and you can have. It actually keeps you from the aesthetic, artistic life that's available for you. Now, knowing when you're in fantasy and knowing when you're holding the imaginal organ in light of awareness is a very good question that you can think about. So let's hold awareness together, and we're going to form a geometry then, okay? Is that okay? We'll put a little light out here. Though you probably don't feel like moving, but let's do this for the period anyway. And we'll build some in. I hope you enjoyed the Fedele dell'Amore. And you can read about this in different places. I would start seeing it discussed in different places, you know. But from yes. Hey, good to see you.
What you said about happiness being taken as an insult.
Yeah.
You spent the past 3 days in Nashville where the flooding was.
Uh-huh.
In my daughter's house, which was, is all stripped out.
Right.
And holding the field, holding happiness in a static state, had mind and I would hold it together.
Absolutely. And that's a situation, okay? I'm talking about systems and not situations.
Okay.
Where?
In the system, some people would be attracted to it, and others would actually start getting angry.
Right. So happiness is a power, but I'm talking more in regular situations where I'm really talking in a childhood frame for most people, in family system frames or group frames where you're holding happiness. But also to bring happiness into a situation doesn't mean you're not experiencing the tragedy that's taking place. Thank you. Welcome back. And so let's hold awareness together, okay? We'll for a little flashlight. Somebody here and somebody... Only if you feel healthy, that you feel really good. So someone can sit here who's feeling healthy. Let's do it fast. And someone here who's feeling healthy and someone here. And then we'll fill in. And we're going to stop about 5 to 12. And who's that over there? Hi, welcome. Welcome. So let's hold awareness. Great. Here we are. Maybe someone can come in. So one person in the middle. I want to cut a triangle. I'm sorry, hon. One person, just whoever that is. Why don't you sit, Mary? Mary, you want to sit in the middle? Okay, right there. You're going to hold it. You're going to hold that. And then you say, I sit here. Okay, you want to keep our little triangles a little bit. And you're going to come like so. Okay? Then we'll hold awareness. We're going to put that Sufi song back on. Is that we're going to start number 2. Is that okay? And we're gazing. Got everybody here. Let's extend in the middle. We'll have Skip come in the middle since she just came back from Nashville. And Mary's going to sit back a little bit more. We'll go to number 2. Is that number 2? Great. So let's extend to each other. And pervasiveness is really useful, huh? Have a pervasive feel. Okay? And maybe somebody can walk around, maybe Steve can walk around that side and touch people. And maybe Molly will walk around from this side. If you're feeling okay, touch people. Steve, you can't do it? Then don't do it. Let's see. Then, yes. Do you mind? See, if you want to lay down, you're welcome to lie down too. Okay, great. So let's focus on Skip for a bit, and we're going to touch him right now. We're going to feel the energy in our hands. And let's just open to feel that amazing process of being in awareness, absorbing and dissolving these structures, okay? And it's best not to think about them as sick, because then you have, oh my God, natural structures of consciousness. Let's say the word ha together.
बदरगाह
to
तो
touch, get physically, but actually push into his body a little bit
मुस्तजीरा
today. Just like
मुदे
pushing. Is that okay with you?
बजंजीर हिरमा
Just pushing into
असीरा
the flesh.
मुदे
Pushing the light into it.
शाह शाह अज करम सूए मा यक नजर के मिसकी गरीब फकीरा मुदे तनम फरसूदा जा पारा तनम फरसूदा जा पारा से हिजरा या रसूल
And we're going to touch the person in the middle, and we really feel that the energy, the light in our flesh. It's a very powerful center. Just take your own hands for a moment. To work with this. Circle the energy around the thigh. Inside all the body. Here. Say yes to the energy arising. The group has no power. Qigong posture of riding the horse emphasizes this. Just like Mr. Ma uses it sometimes, and when you bend down a bit, that opens up. So many of the Qigong masters emphasize this place a lot. Touch the person next to you, just letting the energy go right through their body, raising
जसूवे मन गुजर आरी जसूवे मन गुजर आरी मने मिसकी जे नादारी मिसकी जे नादारी फिदाए नक्शे नाले फिदाए नक्शे नाले कुलम जा या रसूल अल्लाह नक्शे नाले या रसूल ذكرنا خشانم سيا شد روز اسيانم ذكرنا خشانم سيا شد روز اسيانم ذكرنا خشانم سيا شد روز اسيانم پشیمانم 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 یا رسول اللہ پشیمانم 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 یا رسول تو مستم بزنجیر تو دل بستم سجاوے حب تو مستم بزنجیر تو دل بستم سجاوے حب تو مستم بزنجیر تو دل بستم نمی گویم که من هستم نمی گویم که من هستم سخنگوی یا رسول الله نمی گویم که من هستم سخنگوی یا رسول الله نمی گویم که من هستم سخنگوی یا رسول الله شفاعت را کشایی بر گناهگاران بازوی شفاعت را کشایی بر گناهگاران بازوی شفاعت را کشایی بر گناهگاران مکن محروم جامیران یا رسول اللہ
Here we are. Thanks so much. So we're going to hold awareness. See what time was. We're doing great. If you feel the triangles, would you mind saying so? Do you feel the triangles?
Yes.
If you're not feeling the triangles, would you mind saying so? Okay, we're going to focus on the thighs and the triangles again, together for a while. Let's amplify the power that's there in our thighs, like opening it. Then we'll extend to the heart again, to each other. Without any effort whatsoever. Does everybody feel stability of awareness at this moment?
Yes.
We want to stay with just sensing what stability is like. And we're going to focus on the masculine and feminine within our own bodies. And you can feel the person next to you if you wish to help amplify that in you. You don't have to do that. So like feeling that union within your own body. Not so much visualizing it, but having direct perception of it. Holding the intensity of it. a little further now with each other. Stay. Stay with the unfolding. Stay embodied. So we're remaining in this state, remaining in it, and we'll integrate ourselves into it. But we want to sustain the unfolding. So we don't end, we don't stop, we integrate. And as we integrate, we'll focus for a few moments on the great yogis and teachers we have. Then we'll focus on the Devas and Dakinis and the different energies that support us, the Brotherhood of Light, different traditions. And we all understand that it's never useful to think that we're leaving a state, you know. It was really great, but time to leave, okay? We don't go that route. Rather, we integrating ourself, our day, into what is. Let me see what time it is here. Anybody want to share anything? We have about 5 minutes, and then we'll end our little morning. Really glad everybody's here today.
For me, Rudy, today emphasized the piece about the leap.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself constantly taken to an experience, and then for it to go further, it was almost like I had to leap totally into the experience. And then it felt like everything opened up. And then as you spoke, and I became aware of the leap between the states that you were speaking of, the leap of the mind into the heart,
Mm-hmm.
beyond the autistic state, the leap to go through the paranoia. Each piece felt to me like there's this choice point to take that leap. That became really apparent to me.
Thank you. Beautifully said. Somebody else want to share anything? As we sit in the dark?
Well, today's session also connected with last week's session about authorship,
Mm-hmm.
and for me it felt like really authoring, living in the light, with the light, and cutting the cord to the old melancholy, if you will, and opening to what's here.
Beautifully described. Thank you, Marla.
My experience was for the first time I'm working with the inner thigh
Mm-hmm.
that kept recurring, an energetic activation that had a very erotic, grounding nature, and I would go up,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I was at the third triangle, I would find a weakening, or I couldn't tell, in the transformation up, it became more and more light,
Mm-hmm.
and more and more expansive, and then I wanted to reground.
Mm-hmm.
So I found the process incredibly interesting and solidifying, that I could keep going up, and then if I went back down and regrounded, there would be a whole different way of holding the entire experience, but that the energizing, the erotic, and the basic element of the inner thigh was very, very important. Without that, the experience didn't have the, I don't know, something, vital force or power,
Mm-hmm. Vital force, power.
grounding, that was able to lay one triangle on top of the other and open the heart and expand through the throat, and then it would go up. At one point when you
Mm-hmm.
this rounded, luminous, the luminous body experience just all over the torso.
That's totally cool and so helpfully described for all of us. Thank you, Lorette. Wish we had the microphone, but I don't know where it is, so we'll just... That's okay. Yes, somebody else? The articulations are really helpful, aren't they? Yeah.
Experience in the middle with the first thought
Mm-hmm.
was like a cutting through and opening, almost like a shell.
Mm.
And the second thought was more of a complete integration into the central column. So sort of this, almost like a cutting through to pulling everything into the second.
Cool. Very easily described. Thank you, Skip. We're all still really vibrating in awareness. We're just chatting, but we're in the intensity of it. Cool. Someone else?
I feel the noticing of the intensity
Mm-hmm.
and that refinement and the triangle of the thighs were just, that was such a wonderful, sublime awareness of, words are hard to come. Of the multidimensionality
Mm-hmm.
as well as the connectivity and multidimensionality and the normalness of blissfulness and how it can be held so easily and we are that. It's really become very
Beautifully described. All those different areas of this, the connectivity and the support and the normalness. Beautifully described for all of us. Thank you so much. Let's try. Oh, there it is. Anybody else? It really helps. One more person? Sure.
the clarity of my brain. It's like my frontal lobe. I feel
It's-
so clear. I know
it's
it
working.
sounds silly,
Oh,
but
no.
My frontal lobe feels so clear, not cluttered,
Yeah.
not with story, not with angst,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or just so clear, just free.
Free and clear. So cool. I'm glad you added that. Because our brains do get influenced by the light. One more. Anybody want to share? Someone who's just dying to articulate themselves. After years and years of with that introduction. Then let's do this. We're going to end a little bit right on time. I think we go over. But I would like everybody, if everybody would do me a favor, and we're going to take the pillars up, these big pillars upstairs, not the little red, but these pillars, but not that one there, the blue one. We're taking all these big, what do they call? They're not pillars, they're Cushions. We're going to take these cushions upstairs and put them on the second floor because the Lama's coming, and we're going to have a lot of people, and so we'll take this stuff out. Okay. We're not bringing the box in. No, she's not a box person. She would die if she was okay with the box. I know her.
I think we should do it for her.
Tease her a bit. The box is there, you know. But maybe we turn a light on. Someone could turn a light on. It'd be great. There's a light, Steve, right over the little flashlight, right over there for the room, right to your left, hon. No, on the wall. Other way. I'm sorry. Somebody else sees it. There we go. We're going to turn that up. That's right. Great. Fantastic. We'll turn it all the way up. Great. Up, up, up. Yes, hon. Let's leave these down here, I think. We'll leave these cushions here for support. But if everybody wouldn't mind taking one up, and the second floor, just drop it in the second floor hallway.
You said not the one under the air. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.